Hello everyone, this week I'll deal briefly with a subject that fills many books and strikes fear into the hearts of many a Catholic sinner, and that is confession. A wee joke at the end will reward the stout-hearted. The second rite of passage in the Catholic faith is the sacrament of penance and reconciliation. It is one of the two sacraments of mercy. We old-timers call it confession because the individual first confesses his sin. Then comes the act of contrition, penance is given, and sin is absolved. We are thus reconciled with God, at peace hopefully with self, and prepared to go forth and be reconciled with others. Authority over this sacrament was given to the apostles and their successors, our modern-day bishops and priests, by Jesus himself on that first day of resurrection. Read John 20:23. The priests hear sins and keep them in complete and absolute confidentiality. To break a confidence means automatic excommunication and, if discovered, defrocking, to say nothing of the consequences in the afterlife. Only the Pope can absolve this sin. All sins must be paid for either here or hereafter. Penance is given really to remind us of our sorrow at having sinned and usually consists of a few prayers, but the priest may give us other more weighty penances. The main points of the sacrament are then confession, contrition, penance, and absolution. If we've committed any serious or mortal sin, say abortion, abuse, or drunkenness, or as seemingly innocuous as deliberately missing Sunday Mass, we are obliged to seek reconciliation before receiving Holy Communion. To receive the sacrament in the state of mortal sin is to commit sacrilege. Considering the priest shortage, however, if this is not immediately possible, then a perfect act of contrition, including a promise to go to confession at the next opportunity, must be made. Never forget, though, that this is a sacrament of mercy, and confessing even venial sins brings us much grace. It's not a case of God's out to get you. Once upon a time, all confession was done only once and in public, but the Irish monks made it regular and private in the 7th century, and the rest of the church followed suit. The three acceptable rites of penance are private confession. We confess our sins in privacy to a priest, usually in a confessional box. Penance service. Here reflection or examination of conscience is done in community. Our act of contrition, usually the Confiteor, is said by all, and suitable hymns are sung. Each person then confesses privately to a priest and receives penance and absolution. Then there's general absolution. This can only be used when it would be simply impossible for a priest to attend to each individual who might wish to confess. It's reserved usually for those going to war or during natural disasters or when lives are in danger. The penitent must still promise to go to confession at the next opportunity, however. Catholics are encouraged to confess at least once a year, especially during Advent or Lent, but a wise person, feeling the need for grace, will go once a month or even every week, and of course, when he or she is in a state of mortal sin. May God's mercy be with you always. And now, as promised, your joke. The new priest is nervous about hearing confessions, so he asks an older priest to sit in on his sessions. The new priest hears several confessions. Then the old priest asks him to step out of the confessional for a few minutes. The old priest suggests, "Why don't you cross your arms over your chest and rub your chin with one hand and stroke your beard, perhaps with the other?" The new priest said he'd try it. Then the old priest suggests, "Try saying things like, 'I see,' 'Yes,' 'Go on,' 'I understand.' 'How did you feel about that?'" The new priest followed the advice given. Afterwards, the old priest concluded, "Now, don't you think that's a little better than slapping your knee and saying, 'No way, what happened next?'" Be back to you next week. Bye-bye.